Today we are going to install the ELF Offroad dual ARB mount to a Jeep Gladiator. Our mount works on any Jeep models that are a JL or a JT from November 2017 to present day. The first thing we're going to do is remove the 10mm nut on the left side of the cover and a 10mm bolt on the right side of the cover, and the cover comes off. Lift the cover up and pull towards you to remove. Remove the bracket the cover came out of from the intake manifold for a better look, but it is optional. When you uncover the motor, all these holes are empty of screws. We provide stainless steel screws to replace the holes for a cleaner look if you please. These are your heater hose lines. First, we're going to remove the nuts from the studs on the heater hose bracket on the left side. Keep these nuts for later. Next, rotate the heater hose clamps holding the heater hoses so they are facing the passenger side of the car. Both air brackets need to be rotated to fit the hose. Remove your original hose from the vacuum line and cut the end on the left side so the remainder of the hose is in line with the back stud that you removed the nuts from. Feed the new hose under the heater hose lines. Connect it to the other hose that we had cut off that's in line with the back stud with a hose clamp that is provided in the kit. Go ahead and connect the right side of the hose to the vacuum line, also using hose clamps provided in the kit. Another modification we have to make is removing the 6mm stud that sticks up that is connected to the heater hose lines. You can use a die grinder, anything to remove it. Here's the ELF Offroad mounting bracket that comes in the kit. We're going to sit it in place to show you where it goes for when we are ready to install it with the compressor. The two studs that we removed the nuts from, that is where these two slotted holes on our Z bracket will go, and this built-in nut is where the screws will come through. It just slides on that and sets right in there and will bolt to here, here, and right here, and the compressor will be mounted on top of this. We are going to install the ARB dual compressor and the manifold to our ELF mount. Again, our mount only works with Jeep models that are JL or JT from November 2017 to present day. This is what comes in the kit: a mounting bracket that we call a Z bracket, the mounting plate, all the hardware, and the hose we already showed you. We're going to now put the plate on the compressor. So we're going to flip the compressor upside down and make sure all the wires are on the right side. That way you can install it correctly the first time. Here is all the hardware to mount everything. We give the clamps for the hoses that we showed earlier, lock washers, screws, and nuts. We're going to take the plate and take out all of our hardware to get set. First, take a screw, lock washer, and a washer and put it in the first hole a little bit to keep the plate in place. Make sure the plate is also upside down, logo is facing the compressor, and is away from you. The Z bracket has slots going in two directions. You're going to put the ones going left and right on the two holes on the plate. Make sure the bracket is flushed with the outside side of the plate for a starting point. Fill the three other holes in the center with a screw, lock washer, and a washer. Once placed in, then you can tighten all the screws up firmly. Here's the ARB manifold. We do not sell this as well. We added a pressure gauge, but you can customize it however you like. There are 4 holes on the plate furthest from you. We will only be using the back 2. Now take a screw, lock washer, and put it through the bottom right hole of the manifold and put it through the plate. Add another washer, lock washer, and a nut on top. Now that it is on, you can tip it on its side to help line everything up when tightening the screw and nut. This empty hole will be used later when we go ahead and screw the mount into the car. Here is what the compressor and the mount and the manifold should look like. Everything in place and ready to set into the car. Now the mount is ready to be placed in the car. The Z bracket lines up with the 2 screws on the heater hose lines that we removed the nuts from earlier. The hole on the plate and the manifold that we did not put any screws in lines up with the hole that is right where we took off that 6mm stud that was sticking up. Now take a 10mm socket and add some tape, just like we did here, to make it easier to apply the nuts back onto the 2 screws on the heater hose lines where the Z-bracket lines up. Add the 2 nuts back onto those studs, but don't firm them up yet. We will firm up everything once we have our wiring harness and all of our other screws in place. If you don't have ELF's wiring harness, skip this step and attach the harness your compressor came with. Attach ELF's wiring harness by first sliding the harness under the air hoses in the middle of the bracket. Attach the positive side of the harness marked in red to the positive side of the battery. You will have to remove the first nut and then add it on after. Attach the negative side of the harness marked in black to the negative side of the battery. Add both nuts back on and tighten. Then wire the purple lead on the negative side to any accessory switch that you want to turn the compressor on with. Take the wire tie down on the harness and put a screw, lock washer, and a nut through it, and bolt that down into the empty hole where the manifold and plate lined up with the empty hole where we removed the 6mm stud. Now clip in the harness to the compressor, the small clip to the small clip, big clip to the big clip. Go ahead and tighten all nuts and screws from the Z-bracket and the plate to make sure they are in place. Now you're ready to turn your compressor on. As you can see, the pressure gauge went up to 160 pounds. The compressor works. That is how you install an ELF ARB dual compressor mount on any JT model from November 2017 to present day. Head to our website, elfoffroad.com, to shop today.